All right, Jeff, thanks so much for joining us. I got to ask about the stock market reaction. Do you think it's related to the news? And if so, why? Or is it something else?
Well, look, we believe that this is a great product. It's coming in. We're working and spending time with investors, but it's really a drug that's coming into, as you said, a major market with a need. I mean, we see veterinarians today looking for another option. There's very few options. This is the number one reason that pet owners go to the vet is itching dogs, and they only have a few options today. We've got over, as I said, 70% of vets wanting this. So Zenrelia brings exactly what pet owners are looking for in veterinarians. They want more efficacy, more convenience at a lower cost, and that's exactly what Zenrelia does, and we're excited to share that. And I think, you know, when I look at the stock and look at actually the marketplace, we're one of the most compelling value propositions in one of the most exciting areas and industries, animal health. And, you know, we're in the middle of historic innovation, 6 blockbusters between now and the end of 2025, and really 3, 1 per quarter in major markets. We got 1 in methane and cattle we're launching right now. Now we're going into a close to $2 billion derm market with Zenrelia. And we're bringing in a $6 billion market, Credelio Quattro, an approval in the 4th quarter and launching in the 1st quarter. So historic launches, innovation, and that's what's going to drive our stock price over the medium and long term.
That was great. Methane for cows. That's going to be very cool. We got to come on and talk about that in a second. But for this particular drug, most analysts are really positive about what this represented for your pipeline. I am wondering if you're going to have to sort of sell it at a discount to get that uptake in the initial launch and what that might look like.
Yeah, our launch price is all driven around, you know, looking at the market research. We want to do 2 things. We're going to expand the market. So today there's still a lot of dogs that don't have accessibility of modern, you know, innovation. And what this does is this starts to bring more dog owners that actually cannot afford today, you know, a good innovation like Zenrelia. So that's number 1. And number 2 is we're doing this to drive more vet clinics and more veterinarians to bring it in initially because of what we've seen. This product is more efficacious. And let me just share in secondary endpoints in a head-to-head study with the current JAK inhibitor that's on the market. It's showing that we brought 77% of dogs back to normal versus the competitor at 53%. So because of that, also it's 1 dose a day, not 2 initially that's needed by the current market product that's on the market. And you know that incentive on cost is just going to get more of this product in more hands. And we've seen that. What excites me most in the last 24 hours is the response from veterinarians and pet owners initially hearing about this product. And the interest has been, we've got over 2,000 veterinarians on our first call that we're going to have over the weekend.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Jeff. Really, for dogs, it's just wonderful news. Do you think, though, that perhaps market participants think you're maybe being a bit too optimistic with your outlook for $600 to $700 million in revenue from new products by next year? Are you standing by that outlook?
We are standing by that outlook. That data was coming out of 2021 in our investor call, and we've been significantly increasing that over time. We increased our innovation guidance this year between 400 and 450 million, so we're well on track. That's a 150 million jump from 23 to 24. So as you look at going from 24 to 25, we're going to go from this 425 million up to 600 to 700 million, and it's going to be driven by, first, all the products that we currently have are continuing to grow nicely. They're our key drivers, and now we've got 3 products, as I mentioned. You've got Bovaer that's in this methane market that we see as a $100 to $200 million potential product. Zenrelia coming into this $1.7 billion derm. And then Credelio Quattro is going to be the broadest spectrum product in the largest animal health market, and that's the whole parasiticide, tick, flea, heartworm. And that product will be launched in January. So with those 3 drugs on top of the momentum we currently have from the innovation, we're well on track to that 600 to 700 million. And that's the big driver on the compelling value proposition of Elanco.
Yeah, and it'll do you well in order to get your debt down as well. Your debt burden will be much relieved. What about the farm animal product side? You mentioned the methane product and so on, but is there more that you can do there?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 70 years we're coming up onto. We're the leading brand for farmers and veterinarians and pet owners. We've had a long legacy of the farm animal business. We're leading right now and taking share in this market. It's been one of our growth drivers here in 2024. And a lot of it's really around the following. And Elanco walks into, when you look at poultry, dairy, beef, swine, we're a leader there. We walk in and we look at food safety, we look at feed efficiency, and we also now are starting to look at how we can reduce methane and ammonia. We had the first product that was approved by the FDA a few years ago called Experior for beef farmers. Well, that product is going to be our next blockbuster. It should get near $100 million in sales this year. And now Bovaer is going to be used in dairy to actually reduce methane. Methane's key compared to carbon. It's a short-lived gas, and we've created an inset market where dairy farmers are going to get another in-stream, monetary in-stream. So in addition to a milk check, they're getting a carbon check from an inset market that we've set up and already established. So exciting times on the farm animal business. And you're exactly right. Growth, innovation, cash is what drives Elanco. 4 quarters of good growth. We're guiding for growth for the rest of the year. All the innovation we just talked about. And we've reduced our debt 22% by really selling off our aqua business. Our stand-up costs are behind us. Free cash flow conversion's up. And that's also going to be a key driver. So we're an execution story, a lot of momentum, and today's an example of a great proof point of another milestone for this company.